Welcome to the Biz Builders Podcast, where we believe building the business of your dreams can change your life. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned certified life and business coach. After 14 years of teaching, I took a huge leap, left my job, and built 2 successful businesses with no business or sales background. Now I'm living the life of my dreams, and I'm ready to help you do the same. You're in the right spot here if you're ready to dig into not only the strategy of business building, but also the belief in yourself that building a business is possible. You're made for this, and you've got exactly what it takes to create the financial, time, and location freedom you're craving. Over here, we value progress over perfection. We embrace being uncomfortable, and we believe that anything, literally anything you want, is possible for you with the right strategy, mindset, and support. You'll also hear inspiring stories here and, of course, failures of women who are doing the same thing. The whole idea is if she can do it, so can I. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Biz Builders Podcast. I am so happy you're here. It has been a hot second since I have recorded a podcast episode, and I'm super excited to be here with you today, wherever you may be. I hope you are safe, you are happy, and all of the good things for you today. I created a post on Instagram this last week and I got some questions about it, and I thought it would be the perfect podcast episode to kind of talk through this particular post, and more importantly, like what happened in between when I left my job, my full-time teaching job, and going full-time in my online coaching business. Because as many of you know, I am currently, since the summer, since July of 2024, I have been working my online coaching business as my full-time gig. So prior to that, I was working other little like side freelance curriculum writing jobs, which were great. And I learned so much from doing that. But I finally took the plunge in July of 2024, and now I am full-time online in my coaching business, serving the most amazing women to help them build businesses and work through all of the mindset crap that comes with starting and running and staying in a business for the long haul. Because all of the women that I work with, this is like their life's purpose. This is not like a little like side hustle-y thing. This is like a full-time, like, this is my life's work. This is my passion. This is what lights me up. And it's the same for me too. So it's so fun to be able to support women in doing that. But I realized, like, I had a moment, and I have these moments quite often in my life where I kind of just like, it hits me like, like on the side of the head, like, look at you, like, look at where you're at right now. Like the 2 years ago version of you would have looked at this version of you right now, the life that you're living right now, the way that you get to live every day, the way that you get to, wake up in the morning and not have to rush out the door to go take care of other people's kids. The way that you get to do really simple things like make breakfast for my kids, take my kids to school, take my dog for a long walk before I start my day, to be able to get to go teach bar at the studio, and, impact women in that way. And just everything that I do in my life now is they're all things that completely, like, I enjoy doing and light me up. And like, if you were to ask my husband would be like, oh my gosh, you work 7 days a week. You never take a break. Like, you're always on, you're always working, whether that's at the studio teaching bar, or if that's in my coaching business as well. But not because I feel like, oh, I have to do all of these things. Like, no, it's like, because I actually want to. And just getting to live this life. Like, sometimes I'm like, I get, like we all do, we get down on ourselves because we're like, oh, I'm not where I want to be by now. I wish I had more clients, or I wish I was making more money, or I wish I was, had this thing all situated and figured out. And why is this taking me so long? And we all have those thoughts as we move through, phases of building businesses and whatnot. But I just sometimes it'll like whack me on the side of the head. Like, look at how lucky you are. Like the 2-3 year ago version of you would be so proud of you. And like would look at the life that you're living right now and be like, oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing. That sounds so cool. That is so incredible. But there was a lot of things that like actually had to happen. Like, it's one thing to say like, okay, this is what I'm doing, but you're probably thinking like, okay, well, what did you actually have to do? And so that's what this particular Instagram post was about, is me having one of these moments and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking lucky. And then really reflecting on like, what is it that got you here? Like, what is it that allowed you to live this life every day that you just seriously love? And like, my life is not fancy. My life is not like crazy, luxurious anything. It's literally just for me about being able to take my kids to school in the morning and feeling really good at the end of the day. Like, that's literally all it is. And for most of my clients, it's something similar. It's different. Like it's different for every person, which is so beautiful, but helping them get to build their dream lives and get to wake up and be like, oh my gosh, the 2 years ago version of me would be so proud of where I am right now. And this is what had to shift. Like, I'm going to talk you through for me, and this is just my story, of course, like for me, what had to happen in order to go full time in my online coaching business. Because for me, that was really like I said, in July of 2024, I left those other freelance jobs, those curriculum writing jobs behind, just because I knew there was like this nudge. I'm like, you are ready. And financially, was I ready? No. Like, was I making as much money as I probably like would think that would be like, quote unquote, comfortable to like make that leap? No. Did I have enough clients to like justify like jumping and like leaving this big chunk of income behind? Also, no, but there were certain things that did have to happen in order for me to like make that happen. So it was the nudge, and it was like, and you guys know me, like I'm the type of person that like when something's in my head, like I'm just going to go for it. Like I don't really stop and wait and think. And for most things, I'm a very, very quick decision maker, and I'm a quick mover. Like I move pretty quickly. And so it was like, okay, it's time. Like I had that nudge that like, if you stay here any longer, like you're just prolonging this uncomfortable part that's about to happen in order to get full time in your online coaching business. And so let's just like dive in and be uncomfortable for a little bit to get to the other side, right? Which it's like that with everything. And there has been no phase in business so far for me where I haven't like felt really uncomfortable. So this is kind of my journey and what needed to shift for me to go full time in my online coaching business, and to just say, F it, let's F around and find out, and let's see what happens here. So the first thing that I had to do is I had to raise my prices quicker than I was, quote unquote, ready to raise them. Now, I know this is a hot topic, and this is something that I talk about with my clients a lot, especially the clients, of course, that are in business and they have these goals and things that they want to achieve financially, and, pieces that need to be put into place. And typically what I find is when people are starting off or in the beginning phases of their business, or even people who have been in business for a while, we like to keep our rates where they're comfortable, where we feel like, okay, like I feel okay asking for this amount of money. Like I don't feel like I'm, scamming anyone. But you shouldn't ever feel like you're scamming anyone, because that's like a whole other money mindset issue. And there was a lot of money mindset stuff that had to go into raising my prices. Of course, like you kind of have to work through all of that. For example, like this whole, what I just said, like the whole scamming thing, like I don't want to feel like I'm scamming someone. Well, you're not scamming someone if they are taking value away. So as long as you are 100% anchored to and grounded in the value that you provide and the transformation that you provide, then there is no such thing as scamming, because people pay where they see value. People are happy to invest in themselves and where they see value. So that is a whole other like money mindset thing. But I had to raise my prices, you guys. This is really embarrassing. I'm not even kidding you when I tell you, I literally charged $35 per session when I first started coaching. Like, that's kind of really low, for a certified coach in any area. And it just was low, and like it needed to be raised. So what that meant though is having uncomfortable conversations, is facing these like money beliefs that I was carrying around, like, oh, nobody's going to want to pay, this much money, or, oh my gosh, I'm like doubling my prices in like a week here. Well, more than doubling. And it meant having those uncomfortable conversations and saying like, hey, I am at a point in my business now where I have the experience now, I have the expertise, and, the rates are going up here. So either come or go, come along with me or not. And so those conversations were really uncomfortable. Hitting those money mindset issues head on was really uncomfortable. But the other option again was like to stay where I was and keep undervaluing myself. So that was the first thing. The second thing, and I just kind of touched on this too, is like I had to really start to see the value that I brought to every conversation as far as my coaching goes. And I had to really own it. And when we say own it, right? Like, what does like own it even mean? In my space, like owning it means that you like will shout how amazing you are, like from the top of the mountaintop, like, and you just are unapologetic about what you do and how awesome you truly are. But that comes from within. That like nobody can give that to you. You have to discover that on your own. And that's something that I had to discover on my own as well. Of course, with the help of like coaches and mentors too. And like really what helped me with this was looking at all of the things that I've done in my life, not just in my business or in coaching, but like literally across the board, like all the things that I've done in my life where people have called me like, you're crazy for doing that. And I just freaking owned it. I'm like, yeah, maybe I am crazy, but like, look at where I am now. Like, look what I have now. And you're still over there complaining that you don't have what I have. Like, it's worth it to be crazy to me and take those like, just own it, right? Own these things and talk about them more and celebrate them more. And that was another big thing. Like, I'm not sure why I had this whole hold up when I first started coaching about sharing my wins and also sharing client wins. Like I kind of was just like glazing over like things, like just not celebrating them like I would tell even my clients to celebrate, right? And so I really started to like stop and like pay attention to all of the amazing things that were happening both in my life, in my business, and in my clients, like the wins that they were having in our work together. And then I got good at sharing those, of course, with like confidentiality and all that stuff intact. But I found that once I started doing this, like once I started just like owning these wins and like celebrating myself and like being like, nobody's going to celebrate you. Like, nobody's going to do that for you. Like you have to do that for yourself. Once I started doing this, my clients actually started owning their wins more too. And it was this like amazing ripple effect of like, oh my gosh, we're going to make a big deal out of all of this because it's all a big deal. Even things that like you would like people are like, that's not a big deal. Like, I don't, but it all really is because it's all steps forward and it's all progress. And that's really what we celebrate over here is that messy action and doing things imperfectly, not waiting until everything's ready, not waiting until everything's like perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, right? So owning my experiences, owning my wins in my business, and owning my clients' wins too, and the amazing things that they were doing because of the work together, like the businesses they were starting, the clients that they were getting, the results that they were getting their clients, the way they were showing up on social media, the way they're showing up in their daily lives, the mindset shifts that they were making that were impacting not just them, but like their families and their friends and their everyday, like the way they felt when they woke up. So celebrating those wins. So that was another thing. So another thing that I had to do that in reflection, like to be able to go full time in my online coaching business too, was to really set insane boundaries around my time and my energy. So I've always said, like, if I'm going to start a business, it's going to be built around what's important to me. Like, it's going to be built around like how I want to feel every day, and how I want to feel every day is present. I want to feel connected to the people that are closest to me. And I want to be here for my boys as they're growing up, like, full stop. Like, that's just what it's going to be. So the boundaries, like, I really had to do some solid work on this. And in hindsight, this is probably one of the biggest reasons that I was able to go full time, because as far as like time goes, basically what I was doing is I took the rules from my 9 to 5 from my teaching job of work all day, every day, all the time, don't ever stop. And I continued to do that. It was different though, because it wasn't like, it's because I felt like I had to, like with teaching, it's because I felt like I wanted to, like I was excited about it and I was lit up about it. But again, like if I'm working with my clients on setting boundaries and being present and spending time with their families and focusing on their values and things that are important, okay, I need to be doing the same thing as well. And of course, like that's important to me. So like structuring my days so that, you know, the mornings are for, you know, moving my body, for exercise, for starting my day off without any social media, without plugging in like to clients or taking client calls, and grounding and centering myself, moving my body, getting my kids situated and, you know, ready for a really great day, and just being present again. And being present for me, like it doesn't look like sitting there and like staring at them. It looks like helping them get ready for school, helping them do their hair, you know, talking to them about things that are going to be going on today, like just being present and being there with them. So then the business time too, like I love working my business. I love working with my clients. I love even working the back end part of my business. I love creating content like this. But there's there has to be like a full stop. Like, okay, we're done for the day. We're putting it away and we'll come back to it tomorrow. And nothing burned down. Everything was fine. So that was one thing. But then my energy part was another part. Like I had to have, I realized really quickly, like when you get really reflective and I guess introspective, you start to notice things that other people bring to the table, like other energies that people bring to the table. And this is a perfect example of, you know, setting a boundary around my energy that I was talking about just a few minutes ago about the whole money mindset thing. There's a lot of money mindset issues I had to work through, and, you know, my relationship with money and all that in order to be able to raise my prices. And I noticed that there were certain people, you know, family members even, that would come, you know, I would be in their presence, and it was very triggering for me in regards to those money mindset things, the things that I was working on. So I had to, you know, I had to set a boundary for myself and be like, okay, if this topic comes up, or if this person starts talking in this way about this specific thing, or she starts talking about, you know, these things that not directly like, oh, you're working on money mindset, but the things that were, you know, I was working on, and I was working really hard to work through them. And what was happening is I was regressing as in being in these certain people's presence because of their energy and because of their beliefs and because of their thoughts and because of the way that they carry themselves. Like, that's not where I want to go. I'm interested in moving like up, 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 not just staying here and complaining about things. So I had to set a boundary for myself that when this comes up, or when this starts, like when you feel your energy, when you notice your energy start to shift, you take yourself out of that situation, you take yourself out of that conversation. It didn't have to be like rude or mean or anything, or like anything like that. But it was like, I had to set these boundaries in different areas, because I'm here to play big. Like, and a lot of people don't understand that. I think the safe thing to do is to, you know, stay in your 9 to 5 job, keep the benefits, keep the retirement. How can you, like, are you serious? Like, what does that even mean? You're a coach. Like, what does that even mean? What do you even do? Like, what does that even look like? People pay you for that. I'm not here to like explain myself to them anymore. I'm here to grow my business. I'm here to make an impact. I'm here to help other women build their businesses and just that's it. Like, and that's all I want to do. I don't have time for all this other stuff. So was that easy for me? No, but it was definitely worth it because it eliminated a lot of the energetic things that I was giving my energy towards things that just weren't in my control. So it just goes back to taking responsibility and being in control. So that was another thing. Another thing that I had to do too, and I had to do this pretty quickly, was stop seeing myself as a beginner. I think a lot of people that come into my space too, or I noticed that I was hearing this a lot. Like people were like, oh, I'm just a beginner. I'm just starting off, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Or, oh, I'm just, I'm not going to do that because I'm just starting off. And it's like, I was assuming that like people weren't, and I think other people have this assumption too, especially when they're first starting off in their journey, is nobody's going to want to work with me because I'm just a beginner, right? Like nobody's going to take me seriously. Nobody's going to see me as an expert because I'm just starting off or I'm just a beginner. And it's funny because you'll hold on to that story for as long as you hold on to that story. Like you could be 10 years into your business and you could still be like, oh, I'm just starting off. Did not take yourself seriously. Like, again, you have to own, like you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to own everything that you do and all of the experiences that you've had up until this point. So now I literally was like, I got to make a decision here and I have to start seeing myself not as a beginner anymore, because also my audience, I think, was seeing me as a beginner too. Like they were like, and maybe this is just me in my head, but I had this like assumption that they're just like, oh, how cute. Like she's starting a business. That's so fun. But it's like, no, now in my business, I move like I know what I'm doing. That is not to say that I always know what I'm doing, because I don't, but I just pretend like I do. I'm like, well, how would I move if I actually knew what I was doing here? And then I move from that energy. And again, I make mistakes. I fix them as I go. I don't care. Like I'm like, we're going to move. We're moving here. We're making decisions and we're going. And this shift came, like I was able to stop seeing myself as a beginner by doing things over and over and over again that like made me nervous. Right? So like getting on sales calls, going live on Instagram, recording podcast episodes, even in the very beginning, like getting on coaching calls, like that was scary at first. That's a scary thing. And that it's okay, because it just means that I just cared, right? Like I cared enough to be nervous about it. That's how I looked at it. But I just kept doing the things over and over again. And I made the decision that like, you're not a beginner anymore. You know what you're doing. Like you got this, like now start to move like it. So that was another big thing. Another thing that I had to do, this is not an easy one, and it's not an easy one for anyone, but it's showing up every day, even when you feel like things are not working and when it feels like no one is listening. You guys, it's like you think you're the only one that this is happening to. Like you think people come right out of the gate and post something and their offer is sold out. That is not the case. And after talking with so many business owners, online business owners, both beginner and advanced and, whatever else, like seasoned people, whatever we want to call it, like everyone feels like this sometimes. Everyone. It is not unique to you. But what makes people successful is showing up from the energy of like, oh, it's already working. Like, even if it's just your mom and your sister watching your stories, like on Instagram, you're showing up like it is already working. The program is already full. Your roster is all full of dream clients. Like, you continue to show up from that energy. And it's not an energy of like, okay, I'm going to show up today because I have to. Like, it's like, I'm showing up every day because I want to, and I'm so excited. And this is already working. This is not an easy thing to do. And I know that. I know that because I've had moments, I still do have moments now where it's like, I'll post something and there's no like, nobody's hitting the sticker. Nobody's DMing me that magic word. Nobody's like saying anything. It's like crickets. And again, it's like maybe my mom watching my live, and she's the only one that's commenting, but it's fine. But I believe that anytime, any day, anything can happen at any time. Like somebody could find me right now in this moment and like go all in with me. And so that's why I keep showing up. And one of my mentors, she always says that every day is somebody's day one. So like you should be showing up every day as if somebody's going to stumble upon your content or your podcast or your email list or your Instagram live or like however you like to show up, your Facebook, like whatever it is, as if it's their first time interacting with you. Like, would you be all like, okay, I'm here because I have to show up here? Or would you be like, oh my gosh, like this is the best thing ever. Like, welcome to this space. And I love that mindset. I love that. I love coming at everything from that energy. And so showing up every damn day, you guys, even when it feels like nothing's listening, not because you have to, but coming from that energy of that you want to. That's another big part, because if I stop, you guys, if I stopped showing up when nobody's responding, nobody's listening, nobody, whatever, I would have quit probably like a month into my business. This wouldn't even be a thing. We wouldn't even be here right now. So you got to stay in it. And there's no way to fail if you're in it and you're in it with the right energy and you're in it with the right intentions. There's no way to fail. There's little tweaks we can make along the way to maybe make things move faster or to make things move differently and feel differently and get different results. But overall, you got to keep showing up, right? Now, the other thing, you guys, this was kind of hard for me. I had to be okay with pivoting. And whenever I say pivot, I think of Ross on Friends, right? So pivoting what I was doing and essentially being a beginner again. So when I left my teaching job, my identity was wrapped in teaching. That's who I was. I was a teacher. I was not anything else. I was a teacher. And so my social media reflected that as well. I started my Instagram long ago, back in the good old days when Instagram was you got to see things in chronological order, and then you would get to the end and it would say okay, perfect, you're all caught up. And there were no ads. There were no, I don't even know if there were hashtags at that point, and nothing had to be cohesive or on brand. You just kind of posted what you felt like. So there was that. And if you go to my Instagram today, if you scroll way, way back, you will literally see this, you guys. Then I was a teacher author. I sold, my own curriculum on a teacher website on Instagram. So that's there. And then I became a freelancer. So I spoke about this a little bit before. I wrote curriculum for other teacher authors and essentially worked under them as a virtual assistant type person, helping them build their businesses. And then I decided to pivot to become a life and business coach. And now here we are. So what I've done has pivoted, and I've had to be okay with that. And there have been moments where I've been well, what is my audience going to think? What are they, I show up one day and I'm oh, now I'm a coach. What is that even? But honestly, people follow. Your people will follow you, and the people that matter are going to stick with you. And if they don't, then they don't. And that wasn't even your person in your business anyways, right? But one thing that stayed the same, always is who I am, right? I've always been here to help people. I've always been here to create genuine relationships. And that's it. That's no matter what I'm doing, that's always at my core. Okay. Another thing, I had to get really confident. And this is a funny thing for me to talk about, because I have people tell me all the time, oh my gosh, I wish I had your confidence. Oh my gosh, you're so confident. Oh my gosh. Blah, blah, blah. And really, I'm I'm actually not that confident, or I wasn't that confident in my business until recently. And I realized that there are things in my life that I am really, really confident in, that I don't think twice about, that I don't question myself in, that I don't overthink, that I don't get in my head about. And those are things teaching bar, being a mom, being a wife, my relationship with my husband. I don't ever question any of those things. I just show up and I get to be me, and I get to like just feel really good about it and feeling confident. And at some point I was like, okay, if you're going to make this work, like if you're going to go full time in your online business, in your coaching business, like you're going to have to unapologetically take that confidence that you feel in other areas of your life. You're going to pick it up and you're going to need to put it in your business. Because in the beginning, and I talked about this earlier too, like just feeling like a beginner, like nobody wants to feel like they don't know what they're doing, but you actually do know what you're doing. You know more than you're giving yourself credit for, and you will figure out whatever it is that you need to figure out along the way. Like there is no doubt about that. So taking that confidence and really like flexing that confidence muscle in my business. And again, it is like going to the gym, right? Like it's flexing a muscle. And really, I've always believed this, that I'm good at everything that I do. I don't say that I'm going to do something. I don't walk into something if I don't know that I can be really good at it. That doesn't mean that I'm good at it right off the bat and I'm like perfect in every way. No, it just means that I know with practice and with time and with a little more experience that I will be really, really good at it. And that goes for lots of things in my life. And my business and coaching is a perfect example of that. When I was like, oh, I think I could be a coach. It was never like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. Like, no, it was like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm going to be really good at it. Was I really good at it right away? No, absolutely not. Am I really good at it now? Yes. And part of it is just owning that, like owning, oh my gosh, like I'm really good at this and it's really fun and I really enjoy doing this, and let's go. Like, let me help you. Like, let's do this. Let's build this. So those were the things for me that needed to shift and needed to happen in order for me to be able to go full time in my business. Okay. So I'm working my business full time. I also teach barre, but that's to me like my like fun, like side job or whatever. But essentially what that's allowed me to do is to be over here, like living my dream life every day. Like literally every day to me feels like a weekend. I don't get like, Sunday scaries. Like I used to have like really, really bad anxiety on Sundays, and even on Saturdays, like it was really, really bad because I just, like I didn't want to go to work. But now every day literally feels like a weekend. Like there's no day where I go to bed at night and I'm like, oh, tomorrow's gonna be a drag. Like it's none of that. It's all feels really exciting and really fun to me. And I know that I've been able to get myself to that point because of these shifts that I had to make. And yeah, well, yes, some of them are strategic, some of them are mindset. They all just kind of come together to build this new identity, right? As this person that gets to live this life that feels really good every day, whatever that looks like for you. So I hope this was helpful to you. And I hope that if this answered any of your questions, or if you do have questions, I am always open. My DMs are always open over on Instagram. There's also a little spot in the show notes here. If you want to leave me a voice note, just tell me what resonates with you. Tell me which one of these things you were like, oh, I didn't even think of that, or which one of them surprised you even, or maybe if you've gone through some of these things, I would absolutely love to hear that too. I always say this, and I said this just a couple minutes ago, like it's all about relationships for me. So let's chat, let's chitty chat about what your journey looks like, where you're at on your journey. I would absolutely love, love, love to hear. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can always leave me a review. I appreciate those reviews so, so much. I read every single one of them. I try to figure out who they're from so I can reach out and like personally thank them. But it takes 2 seconds and it means the world to me. And it also gets the podcast into the ears of more amazing women who are building businesses and building their dream lives with us. Okay. So you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, week, whatever it is. And I will see you back here next time. Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening, you guys. If you're ready to get your business going and making money and to step into that next level version of you, I would love to support you make that happen through strategy, mindset work, and my Cut the BS style coaching, because it's always better, quicker, and more fun to have someone who's already been through it support you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram with the word ready, and we can chat and get your questions answered about coaching and how I can support you. I cannot wait to hear from you.